Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 8-Bit Ramblers podcast. It's April 17th, and I'm joined here by our classic cast of Ruben and Emily.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for introducing me.
How you guys doing, by the way?
Much better now that I didn't have to introduce myself.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You want to do that over?
No, I was really worried about actually having, I was like, oh crap, what am I going to say?
Yeah. Like, I have to say my name out loud?
Yeah.
Scary.
It's like in class when you're, substitute teachers calling roll or
Oh my
something.
gosh.
Oh, yeah.
And you sit there okay, when he says your name, you just say present. Or
Right?
here, or any of those things.
Something.
Yeah.
Oh god, now there's too many things I could say.
I'm just going to raise my hand
Yeah.
here.
And then
I
when
guess.
they
I
get
don't
to
know.
you, and then you're just like, huh. And then everyone looks at you like, what is wrong with them? Yeah. The downsides of being shy.
All right, so are there any games you guys have been playing recently? What games have you been playing? Ruben?
I've been playing so many games, and by so many games, I mean 2 games. So the first game I'm going to talk about is Pokken Tournament. It came out, actually, I think it's been out for a couple weeks now, but since we've recorded, it's been out.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It just came out. So, first of all, you guys have both played the game at least a little bit.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you know, and I hopefully everybody else knows, it's Pokemon, but a fighting game. That's the base idea. It's not any deeper than that.
Yeah. I like it because it's not like people are like having the Pokemon fight like for no reason. It's almost as if they're a Pokemon walking around and then they're like, hey, I'm going to fight you. And they're just fighting for their own amusement, I guess.
Well,
There are trainers, right?
There are trainers.
Yeah, but it's not like, I don't know. It just looks different.
The trainers
Yeah,
are
it
not
is.
as prominent. I guess
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I guess you guys only played the local multiplayer for a little bit. We battled around, but I've played through the tournament. Finally got to what I thought was the top of the tournament. Won the World Cup, and they were like, "Oh, there's a secret tournament."
Oh my gosh.
I thought you were going to say your rival comes out of nowhere and be like, hey, guess what?
No, you don't have a rival. The only other prominent character besides you is your coach trainer lady.
The person that cheers you on?
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, I see.
who is. Everybody says she's really annoying, and I know her voice acting it's awful.
Is it better in Japanese than one of
It's
these
supposed
things?
to be
Okay.
better than in Japanese, but I didn't turn it to Japanese because I actually enjoy the things she has to say, because she does give you some helpful advice. She'll tell you oh, that move that Pokemon just did is really hard to dodge, so you might want to block it, or
Oh.
when you see him doing that, you might want to try a counterattack or something like that, which is really helpful during game, because the computer players are dicks.
Yeah.
They're just like people, where if they see this one move keeps getting you over and over again,
spam it?
they
What?
spam it,
Wow.
and it
That's
sucks. And so when she's like, try blocking it, you block it, and then suddenly the computer doesn't know what to do, and you get an opening.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
Interesting.
it's actually really nice.
Yeah.
But aside from that, the game is beautiful.
It is very nice looking.
It's so beautiful. Even the stadiums are amazing. I just unlocked some of the last ones that you get, and they're surrounded by dragon Pokemon, and legendaries
Oh.
are
Oh,
swimming
man,
around, and
that's
there's
cool.
one that's underwater in an underwater dome,
Oh, that's awesome.
and
Wow.
Whalmer and Whale Lords are just swimming by outside, and it's amazing.
It's really nice because it makes you feel really immersed in the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
It's,
I think what I like about Pokken Tournament is that the Pokemon universe is already so expansive that there could be really cool DLC that comes out with Pokken Tournament with
Yeah.
the stadiums and the Pokemon they can put in. They have a lot of options they can put in. So yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are hoping they put in more characters. Some people were not happy with the amount of playable characters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
on release, but I think
understand that.
I think there's a good enough roster for right now, just for an
Yeah.
opening.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to go all Smash Bros on this. It was just there's 100 guys you could play,
Yeah.
because the way Pokemon work is there's only so many moves that Pokemon can learn,
Exactly.
Right.
and so eventually you get 2 guys in there who play almost identically, which would be not very much fun.
Yeah.
So each guy in the game right now plays very uniquely.
Yeah, which is really
awesome.
healthy for a fighting game.
I think people were like, oh, why didn't they have this one? Because it's like their favorite Pokemon. So they're kind of looking for specific Pokemon.
Exactly.
That's like why I would complain, but I thought it was nice.
Yeah, there's definitely some Pokemon who I could never imagine in in a fighting role. And that's why they also have not only the Pokemon you can play, but support Pokemon.
Yeah, that's definitely a good smart move too.
Which do a little extra thing to help you out in battle. So guys like Electrode, who how
what
could
would he do?
ever be in a fighting game?
Just self-destruct.
Yeah, he actually does. Like he's your support character, so you just press a button and he kind of rolls out and blows up. And if your enemy's too close, does a lot of damage. Or there's a few like legendary Pokemon who like, how could this Pokemon ever be in a fighting game? This guy would just come in, fly, use one move, and
win.
Exactly,
win.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he does. Is like he comes in, he does like it's super telegraphed, so it's like if you're quick enough, you can dodge it or block it or whatever. But if you're not, he's gonna come in and wipe you out.
Oh, jeez.
And it's super nice. And for being Nintendo's, it's not Nintendo. It's Bandai Namco.
Okay.
It's the guys who made Tekken, and they really, I expected it to be just like Tekken,
right?
But they switched it up. They did something new that I've never seen in a fighting game before, which are the battle phases. And for those of you who don't know, the battle phases work like this. So you have two phases, the field phase and the duel phase. The field phase is the big, like you can run 360 degrees around the whole arena, just like classic like Tekken, Soul Calibur, all that stuff. You move around 360. But when you land a really powerful attack, it'll switch to duel phase, which becomes more like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. Back, forth, up, and down.
Yeah, 2D.
2D. And there's moves in that where if you use a move that pitches your guy way away from you, it switches back into field phase. And each Pokemon has a specific set of moves that happen in either field or dual phase. So pressing up and B does one thing in dual phase, and it does a totally different thing in field phase. Which makes the combat feel super varied and different every time.
So what I was going to ask you is that whenever somebody comes up with something really innovative, it usually works really well and is really cool, or it kind of falls flat a little bit. But you think this one is really cool? Do you think other games are going to pick it up, or?
I don't know, because other games already have an established way that they play it. Like it would have to be a new style fighting game that picks this up.
Yeah.
And it would have to be something much different from Pokemon Tournament. Otherwise, people will be like, oh, well, they're just ripping off Pokemon Tournament. Like, they did that first.
Right.
And they did it so well that, that's the first thing that's going to come to mind when you see another game, do something like that.
Okay.
We were all just kind of looking at each other for a second, trying to figure out if anybody else had anything to say.
No, I'm good, yeah.
For the games I've been playing recently,
that's what you were queuing. Oh, I thought you were asking me if I had something to say.
Oh, okay. Oh, no.
Because I thought you were going to talk about Hyper Light Drifters.
Did you want to talk about that?
I can.
Okay,
I
didn't know. Go ahead, go for it, yeah.
Hyper Light Drifter. No, that's staying in.
Okay.
That's staying in. I might cut out the gap.
Okay.
There's a long silence there.
Yeah.
I might cut it shorter so you guys won't hear that. But
Anyway,
Hyper Light Drifter. So for those of you who haven't seen it yet, we have a couple episodes up on our channel already. You can go check it out. Pause the video, go do that, and then come back. So
do it.
Yeah, do it. Now that you're back. For those of you who didn't do it, shame on you.
Exactly. We know who you are.
Yeah.
And you don't know what we're talking about now.
Exactly. So. Except I'm going to explain it to you anyways, for the sake of people who didn't, because I imagine not very many did. But, so Hyper Light Drifter it's the guy who made it said it was very influenced by Legend of Zelda, classic Legend of Zelda games, which I can see. And a lot of people are comparing it to Dark Souls in the fact that it's very unforgiving.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And
it's kind of like a dungeon-y type game where there's an open area and then you go into dungeons similar to Dark Souls.
Yeah, Dark Souls and Legend of Zelda. But it's a flat 2D, I want to say it's 16-bit, 32-bit, one of those pixel styles of game, which I kind of felt was overplayed for a while, but once I saw the trailer for this game, I was sold on it, and I backed it on Kickstarter, and so I've been waiting like 3 years for this game, and it's finally come out, and it's really good. I enjoy it a lot. The only problem I have with it right now is that it only runs at 30 frames per second, so it's a little slow to respond control-wise.
That's
I can see how that's
But-
a problem for a game that's so you need the reflex time. Like,
Yeah.
you need that time.
It's kind of fast paced.
Yeah, you need the reaction time.
Yeah. So if like even if on PC they can like lift that cap so it'll run at 60, that would be great. But right now it's 30, but it's still a great game. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's very expansive. It's big. There's a very large world there.
And it looks like it has a pretty interesting story, too. It doesn't give you all the story in the beginning, either. It makes you kind of figure it out, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I want to say from my time of playing it, it was really cool because the influences that it's got is pretty obvious. Like it comes from like the Legend of Zelda and like kind of like Dark Souls. Like it borrows a lot of ideas, but it borrows like so many different ideas that it creates its own unique style. In that way, it doesn't feel like it's a direct copy of anything, rather than it's just its own game, and that's really cool because you feel like, yeah, this is like a bunch of things I really know, but at the same time it's in a completely brand new like feeling, and I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the point of the game, for those of you who didn't watch our videos, and again,
Bad.
yes, it's basically a collectathon. You go around collecting these little triangle pieces.
Is that a term? Did you come up with that?
Collectathon?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a term.
Because that's genius.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
There's so many games like that. I didn't know there was a word for it.
I'm 90% certain that's a term. I don't think I just made that up.
Okay.
It's every MMORPG ever is a collection.
Yeah.
Right.
We have to collect like
For XP.
Yeah.
bits and pieces of things.
Mm-hmm.
But nope. You go around, you collect little triangles. At first I assumed there were only 4 in each area. It turns out there might be 8 in each area.
Goodness.
But
so
there's
twice as long.
Yeah, you collect a certain amount of these triangles, and then they unlock the room to the boss of the area. And you go and fight him, and they're very difficult, usually.
Yeah, like we said, like Dark Souls influence, all the bosses are like something you will probably die to your first or second time, or maybe a couple other times until you learn how to figure out their pattern and defeat them in that way.
Oh, yeah.
Very classic Dark Souls in that way.
Yeah. You collect a few other items along, like weapons along the way, different guns. I think you keep the same sword, but you get money, so you go back and you can buy things like bombs, new abilities. We got a dashing ability that we kind of just played around with for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Jan was the only one who
He was
could
the dash master.
figure it out. We
That's
couldn't get
probably
the rhythm
why
down.
I wanted to buy it. And so that's kind of sucks that they can't use it because like then like I don't know, I wasted it. Basically, I wasted their money. So I
Our
feel
very
bad.
hard collected money. It's
Yes.
not easy to come by.
Yeah, money does not show up easily in that game. There's a lot of little things that you can find and collect that, like, I still haven't figured out what they do. There's keys that unlock more rooms that give you more keys
Huh.
that
That's
you use to,
interesting.
like...
Are they different keys or are they?
They're the
like,
same
the
keys,
same
so you're just, like, stockpiling these keys, and there's some rooms that require, like, 6 keys to get in this.
Oh.
And you
I
get in
see.
there and you get, like, 2 more keys.
Oh
so
my
you find a
gosh.
room that requires, like, 8 keys.
It's just a
and-
big joke.
Yeah. I don't know what's at the end of it because I haven't found all the keys.
Huh.
There's also, like, tablets you touch and a guy shows up, like a little hologram of a guy, and he activates the tome, and that's what happens. And I don't know what happens after that. I found, like, 3 of those.
Uh-huh.
So
Maybe it will all be revealed.
yeah, there's a lot of secrets in the
Yeah.
game, but I'm just kind of chugging through it right now because I'm like, well, can't stick around in this area too long. There's a lot to see.
Yeah, definitely.
And the game is very beautiful and vibrant, but the themes of it can get really dark at times.
Yeah.
Like, it shows a lot of, like, this guy's home got burned down by this evil, like, cult or whatever. Or, like, these 2 villages are clashing, and when this one won, it ate all of the other
Oh
guys.
gosh, yeah. There's a lot
That's
of
it.
like skeletons, a lot of corpses
Yeah, there's
littered
one-
around.
One area where you guys didn't get to, that's like a water area.
Yeah.
Where you fight like some frog guys.
Yeah.
And they're like hunting down and enslaving these I don't know if they're dogs people or something like that.
Oh no.
But like it turns out they're eating them, or you'll see like their dead floating bodies in the water.
No.
You go under the like in
Wow.
dungeon areas, and there's like windows that show like to the underwater, and there's just bodies floating in it.
Oh my god.
It's very dark.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
Pretty crazy.
Interesting.
yeah, it gets pretty intense at points.
All right. Well, I've been playing a couple games too. Not to the success, however, that you've been playing your games. So, a long time ago, we got our PS4, and we got the Uncharted collection that came with it. Because I always heard, it was a good game, and the fourth one's coming out soon, so I was like, oh, we'll give it a try. So I played the first one for about an hour or so, and I got stuck in this like weird arena where you had to like shoot people, but I couldn't find where to leave, and like people didn't stop spawning, and I ran out of bullets, and I just kept dying. So I gave up on that. A coworker of mine told me that just to play the second one, that the first one was really hard, and he played the second one, he loved it. He tried to go back and play the first one, and he got stuck too, so just to play the second one. The second one's better. So I was like, sure. So I tried playing the second one, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I really hate games that make you sneak as the only option to get through an area. That is my least favorite mechanic, when they're like, get through this area without being spotted. I can't do it. I'm terrible at it. I hate it. I hate like the lack of choice, and it just really annoys me. So
have you ever played what is the game? Bethesda assassin game.
Oh, Dishonored?
Dishonored. Have you ever played
no,
Dishonored?
I just watched him play it.
I played it.
Okay. Because I was going to say, that's a very prominent thing in Dishonored, is that you have the choice to, like, either sneak through it, or you could very easily just, like, mow down all the guards and get your job done.
Actually, the weird part about Dishonored that I had, like, kind of a problem with was that, if you did choose to mow down everybody, the game kind of punished you that in the story.
Yeah, it did. It kind of made you out to be a really bad person, and it just kind of made you feel guilty for killing people.
Well, to be fair, you killed some people.
That's true. But
you can continue.
Sorry, I just wanted to see if you would...
No, yeah. So, I picked up a game yesterday that I am in love with called Wolfenstein: The New Order. It's really fun. It was so funny because I was playing Uncharted like 2 days ago, frustrated, kept getting spotted, having to start over, and just being like, ugh. So I fire up Wolfenstein, and it is the classic first-person shooter, fighting Nazis as, this guy. I always want to call him Jeffrey for some reason. His name is William Blazkowicz, right? And they call him Blasco, which I think is adorable. I love it. And it's literally like you pick up an assault rifle in the beginning, and you shoot people, you shoot Nazis, and then you get to another one, and I was like, oh, ammo. And then it's just like, press this button to dual wield. So you're dual wielding assault rifles, and I'm just like, fuck you, Uncharted. I'm playing this game. Like, this is it. So I was going through that, and it was really funny because there's this part where you have to kill certain people to make it like alarm will stop. And like the first 2 or 3 times I go into an area, obviously I'm just dual wielding and killing everything. And if that doesn't work the first maybe 3 times, then I'm like, maybe I should crouch, kind of go slow, figure this place out. And then it's so funny because my version of sneaking is crouching until someone sees me and then running. So that's, like, if I get spotted, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to run. But Uncharted, unfortunately, doesn't like that sort of gameplay. So I got pretty far. I played Wolfenstein for, like, 3 hours straight. And I had to stop because I was, like, falling asleep. But it's really good. And I am really excited to play some more tonight. So
Have you guys played any of the other Wolfenstein games?
No, they're more, like, this one has a lot of story to it. I saw that the older ones were just basically, like, Doom kind of thing, where you're just going through and shooting.
Like, through, like, way back into the Doom era.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was. I saw like it was like 84, 86, then like 92, and
Yeah.
like a little bit beyond
Yeah.
that. I think the most famous picture is Robot Hitler from
Yes.
like
Oh yeah.
from that. I was gonna say a funny story while watching Emily play was like how she just like sneaking, but there was this one time there she was sneaking on a compound and then she opened the door and
yeah.
then she saw the Nazi guy was coming around the corner, so she waited there. She's like, all right, I'm gonna get this guy.
I'm gonna knife him.
And I'm gonna knife him. She has her knife out, and he walks right in front of the door. And instead of taking him out, like pressing the R3 and doing the assassin takedown, she just like takes the knife and punches him in the knee.
And then I start stabbing him.
Yeah.
And he's not dying.
He's not. He turns around. He's like, oh, help me! And then everybody like knows that she's there.
And they're just still stabbing him, like,
And
just
just
die.
punching him. Keeps punching him in the leg until he dies. And then everyone comes out with their guns because that's stealth.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
he was the guy one of the guys I had to kill. So, half of my mission was over, and I just run and gunned the rest of it, and I got through it.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the story? You said there's more story
Oh,
in
yes,
this one?
the story actually
Are there
was
wolves?
really good. No, Wolfenstein is actually named after the castle in the original one. Like, you are in the castle and you're trying to escape. But, no, yeah, the story in this one is actually really good. And something I find hard in games lately is they try to sort of get you emotionally involved in like certain people or the story, and it's just like falls flat every time. But for some reason, this game really got me hooked. Like, the beginning was like classic, like, these are your friends, you're with, like, it's World War II, these are your, like, comrades, and then you are injured, and you were put in, like, an asylum, because basically it's like a head injury, and they're like, he's gone, his brain is scrambled, he's never going to function again, but you're still alive, so they keep you alive, and then you're put in a asylum in Poland, and it's him talking, like, he's slowly regaining his, like, faculties, his mental faculties, and he's like, this is what I've noticed over the time that I've been here, and it shows, like, seasons passing in, like, a day, and, like, years are going by, but he's, like, watching the people that work there, and there's, like, a nurse and a doctor that work there, and they take really good care of him, but, like, the Nazis keep taking patients and experimenting on them and stuff, but they leave him because he's brain dead, And it was just, like, I got so emotionally invested in these people, because it ended up being 14 years that he was sitting there.
Wow.
Like, watching these
that's a
people
long
take
time.
care of him. And then, of course, in, like, 1960, the Nazis have won World War II because of their war machines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they come to the asylum and they say, we don't need you anymore. And they just, like, start wiping out everyone. They kill the doctor. They leave the nurse alive. And it was so funny because I was just like, Anya, that's her name. I was just like, oh my god, like, don't touch her, you bastards, like, I was just, like, so into it. And, like, thankfully, by that time, you're able to, like, move, because the whole time you, like, don't even move for, like, 14 years, you're just sitting there. You're able to stab again, which is always important. And you pick up more assault rifles and kill everyone, and you save Anya, and I'm to the part where you're in Berlin and you're trying to find the leftovers of the U.S. Army that were still in Europe. So I'm really excited to find out what happens, because I'm really invested in the game already.
Something kind of cool about it is that really good gameplay doesn't always have to be the actual like shooting of guns and killing of enemies. Something really cool that they do, which I think is important in stories, is create tension, like tense moments. At the end of the first chapter, one of the options that you get to choose is that you get captured by a German scientist, and the German scientist is forcing you to choose between which of your friends do you want to die.
Yeah.
Do you
want to live? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you want this commander to die, or do you want this new recruit to die? And then
It was
you have to make the choice, or else he's going to kill both of them.
Yeah.
And it gets really tense in that way. And it's done that like another time where instead of just shooting people, it has you sit down and has to go through a little really like tense moment where like you're getting interrogated and you have to make a choice.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Yeah, it gives you options that like with the interrogation part, like there's a gun also, so you could pick up the gun and try to like shoot your way out, but that's like not the way to go.
Yeah.
Because in that moment you have to actually like just be quiet and convince them that you're German and that you're not American. And the part that I was surprised by, I thought it was going to be a really linear shooter, classic, no story, just run and gun kind of thing. But with the option of killing one of your, you don't kill them, but having one of your friends killed, as soon as it happens, a little thing pops up and it's like timeline started, and then it's the guy that you saved. So I'm gonna have to play this game at least twice. I know that because I want to find out like how different is it already from my one choice. So I'm continuously surprised by this game and how it's gone. So I'm just really excited to play the rest of it.
Right. The only thing I've been playing recently, this got 2 games, Civilization 5 and Overwatch. And Overwatch recently put in their new competitive mode, so it's basically ranked for people, like ranked mode in every other game. The only problem with that is that the ranked seasons only last 1 month, which a lot of people are complaining because they think that's too short of a time. I kind of agree with them.
And that's the length of time for the seasons in Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because the games in Hearthstone are just, like, really short.
Yeah.
But for, like, a first-person shooter game like that, I feel like you need more time to rank up.
Yeah, to rank up. Yeah, they feel like 3 months is probably the good solid time for that. Or some people were even, like, saying, like, League of Legends seasons, which will last basically a year. But I think it's a great addition. Ranked play really makes you feel like you're like, getting something for playing, You're moving somewhere, getting something. And in Civilization 5, I recently bought it, tried all the mods with it. Oh my, it's so much fun. Like, I haven't played it with mods before, but, be careful of mods.
They're dangerous.
Use mod protection because you don't know what's going to happen if you mess up your whole game. So, just pick the good ones and leave the shady ones alone.
Because there are ones that you download and then you open it and it just destroys the game, right?
Probably. I was also talking about how in Skyrim, don't go too overboard. Leave Thomas the Tank Engine in a children's show. Stop making him the dragon in the game.
What?
But it makes it so much more
Why
fun.
would you do that?
But when I change into a werewolf, I want a gigantic penis. I don't want a no penis werewolf. That's not an option for me.
Have you put that mod on Skyrim?
Oh yeah.
I did not know that was a mod.
Yeah,
I didn't play Skyrim on the PC when it came out, and I was really big into it. I didn't have a PC that could play games, so I just played it on the Xbox, which of course means no mods.
It even has like dick physics.
Yeah. Apparently,
flops around.
it was downloaded by our friend Raphael, and he told us about how there was physics. So when you run around on your forward legs,
Very satisfying.
you get to see it, do all its stuff.
Do everything a dick does.
Be careful, kids with mods.
Could you imagine a mod like that in Civ?
I don't think so. I don't think that's
Nude
how that
mods
works.
in Civ.
Or like where your units are like little penises.
You can make the nukes like just big penises.
Oh, there you go. Or the airplanes or something.
Yeah. Okay, so
Make it.
we can go ahead and move on from this conversation.
There was one more game I want to talk about.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
Oh,
go
geez.
ahead.
So every month or so, I get a new mobile game that I am absolutely addicted to. So I figured, why not share it with you guys? So right now, I'm addicted to Clash Royale. For those of you who don't know, it's made by the guys who made Clash of Clans. But I really don't like games like Clash of Clans, where you wait, collect all your resources, collect all your resources, and then finally get to build like a building or whatever. And then there's a portion of Clash of Clans which is after you finally build your army, you go in and attack other people's towns. Well, they took that. And that is just the game now.
They just boiled it down to that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it's a tower defense. You have your 3 towers and your opponent's 3 towers. and you each have units that you can send out to attack each other's towers. And the way you pick your units is there's cards, and there's a ton of cards to choose from, and each of them is something unique and different. And you level up those cards by winning chests at the end of matches. And you hit those, and that's what you wait in this game for, is the chests to open. But you can play the game
while you wait.
Like,
Nice.
like some chests take up to a whole day to open. But like you don't have to wait any time to play the game. You can just continuously play the game.
That's good.
Wow.
I heard some feedback from a streamer that he really likes this game because it can be pay to win, but it's also dependent on your knowledge of how the mechanics work. Like, even if you buy all the cool stuff, you can still totally lose to someone who just plays better than you. And do you agree with that?
Yeah, because what it is the way you move up in rank. So when you win, you get these crowns, and you only play with people who have about the same number of crowns that you have. So if you buy a bunch of awesome cards and everything like that, you're going to win against people who have like lower level cards than you until you hit a certain point in which those people have the same level of cards as you.
But more skill.
Yeah, more skill. And then you're going to start losing because you don't know how to use those cards as well as they do because they played to get up to that point. They didn't pay.
Right.
And so you're going to start moving like down, and you're going to be stuck in this spot until you eventually like
Learn
and get better, and then you're going to start moving up.
Get good, kid. All right.
So I would absolutely recommend everybody check that out.
Is it free?
It's free, absolutely free. You don't have to put any money into it. I
Yes.
haven't. You even get small amounts of the premium currency out of the chests.
That's nice.
That is
That's
super
really
nice.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and with that, we can go ahead and move into our quick time question events.
Yes.
All right. So, first question will be to you, Ruben.
I feel like we should have an exciting like sound effect, like doo-doo-doo-doo.
And it's like sounds like all the confetti like sound. Yeah. Okay.
We don't have the production value.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we don't have
No.
that kind of money.
Yeah. I'm editing this in Windows Movie Maker. So.
Exactly. All right. So, my question to you: are you ready?
Yeah.
What is the most memorable song that comes to your mind first? Of a video game. Most memorable song of a video game that comes to your mind.
I was like, oh god, I wasn't ready. I was ready for video games. Memorable songs. I would have to say anything from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the GameCube.
Oh, wow.
It was full of that, like, punk rock.
Oh
Like,
god. Is it for a bad reason or a good reason?
I mean, I liked it when I was a kid, and I think I probably still like it now if I went back and listened to it.
Maybe in context.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool at the time. Like, that was back when Sonic was legitimately cool.
Right,
Like,
yeah, no.
as a kid, he had that attitude, and he didn't care about anything and all this stuff. So he was just a cool character, and the music just kind of fit his motif. And Knuckles also had some levels where they had like some rap tracks behind them.
Oh.
And there was one where he was on like a Pumpkin Hill stage, and it had a very spooky like rap track behind it.
Oh.
That sounds pretty
It
cool,
was actually really
Yeah.
good. And I know, like, when I talk to people who played the game, they're like, yeah, like, the music and that song specifically was great.
Wow,
Wow.
yeah. Is there anything that pops up to your mind?
Do you say the best or the most memorable?
Just most memorable. Like if someone asked you this question,
Okay.
what's the first one that comes to your mind?
Definitely.
Somebody asked you what question, just like we did.
Okay,
Exactly.
Right
just
now.
now, I
Yep.
have to say, the music that plays in Pokemon when you run into a Pokemon that's like
Oh, yeah.
dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, I feel like people that don't even play Pokemon a lot will recognize that song as being like, ah.
Yeah. If you've played it like even like one of the versions of the game, you're like,
Yeah,
that's
just
it.
one.
That's the Pokemon.
That's
yeah.
one of like the coolest things about those like chiptunes from Pokemon is that
Yeah.
like they've been that song since
It's
game
Yeah.
the same one.
Exactly. Yeah.
remixed for like
Yeah.
the newer games.
So cool.
Yeah.
Even like the gym leader battles.
Oh yeah.
They're remixed versions of the battle theme, which have been used since like
Wow.
The
that's-
beginning.
the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
I was definitely going to say Pokemon too because, for that reason, you hear it over time. You play these games for like hours plus. So
Years.
I was playing it
They-
before this podcast started.
they just go straight into your head.
Yeah.
All right, so second question, and that's to you, Emily.
Okay, my palms are sweaty, yes.
Okay. What is the most stressful song in a video game that comes to your mind first?
Oh my god, anytime where there's a time limit, and then no, in Mario, I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. It's fine.
Where it would be like a time limit for something, and then it would be like the regular theme, and then as soon as it got to a certain point in the time limit where it was like 30 seconds or like a minute left, and then it would play like the hyper intense song.
Nice
oh my god, because like already in games, if there's ever a part where there's a time limit, I stop playing. Because I will vomit. I cannot stand time limits in games. Timed things. I can't do it. It stresses me out way too much. And I always have to stop and then like come back later. But yeah. And then when they add the music, it's a no-go for me.
Talking about timed parts, did you ever play Castle Crashers?
No.
No?
No.
I assumed you would have because Jan introduced me to Castle Crashers.
Oh.
So I assumed he would have introduced you.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one on the Xbox?
Yeah, it's like the 4-player one. Each one's a colored knight.
Oh, yeah.
It was a long time ago, so I don't blame you for forgetting about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you remember the part, well, Jan, you might not, but Jan probably does. The part where you're on the UFO and it starts exploding and you have to get to the escape pod.
Yeah.
And you're doing a bunch of random stuff,
God.
and suddenly at the end, there's this, like, airport security type line. It's this thing, like the rope thing where you have to go, like, all the way to the side, all the way back and forward and back in, like, the time limit. Mm-hmm. The worst part was when you were playing with a friend and they lagged behind.
Oh, no.
And you were like, no, we have to go. Let's go on.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah. So yeah, any timer music where it like gets more intense by the end, I want to cry.
I specifically thought of Ruben when I thought of this question because he told us that at one point he set his alarm clock to the Sonic music.
The Sonic drowning music.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So we're like, you've just been underwater for too long, and he starts like drowning, and the music changes. Like it's not a faster pace of the original's theme or anything like that. Like its own music starts playing.
Oh god.
And it's the most stressful sound in any video game. Like that's immediately what came to mind when Jan asked this question was that music. And it's the best alarm clock because you will whip out of bed so fast, like, oh god, I'm drowning, I can't breathe.
Oh, that's terrible. Maybe I should set my alarm to the like da 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 da. Yeah, that would wake me up.
All right, so Ruben, you have a question for me to answer?
Yep. Okay. So my quick time question event. What gaming puzzle has stumped you the most?
Gaming puzzle. Well, we can just say Water Temple.
And leave it at that.
Yeah. And
did that one stump you the most? Or was it just the most
No, it really didn't. But that's the first one that came to mind. Right. I guess what? There's something knocking
hammering.
about.
There's some hammering.
Yeah, there's some hammering.
Yeah.
But it's in the middle. But it's the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's
sometimes my neighbors just like to do things in the middle of the night.
Maybe they're on meth.
I mean, I would say maybe if it was like the one guy who was doing things in the middle of the night, but the whole family will come out and just like be doing things late at night.
Oh, okay.
So,
maybe they just have a different schedule.
They're nice enough people. The old guy who lives over there, he makes the sushi for Meyer, and when we shovel his walkway, he brings us bags of sushi.
That's awesome.
Pretty awesome.
That's
I
a
like
nice
that
deal.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything puzzle that stumped you?
I was trying to think. I definitely think there were a couple puzzles in Portal 1 that I had to like stop. Probably. I feel like the puzzles in Portal 2 were harder because they were meant for 2 people, so you have 4 sets of portals that you have to deal with.
Yeah, that's definitely more of a challenge.
But like, because you're playing with someone else, you don't want to admit that you're stumped, so you're just like, I have an idea, even if you really don't, and you're just like shooting portals randomly around. But they're definitely like, I think I played through Portal 2 like twice, and I had to look up some answers a couple times.
So, is there anything that you want?
I would have probably said Portal 2, the multiplayer as well.
Yeah.
Especially when you're working with somebody who is like... Because when I played Portal 2...
not thinking with portals.
I played with somebody who also wanted to be like the director of where our portals went.
So, yeah.
But I'm the same way. I'm like, no, we got to try this first, and they wanted to try their idea first, and we clashed very much.
Yeah.
And it ended in a lot of yelling at each other.
No. So yeah, it's like twice as bad when you get stumped somewhere, because at least when you get stumped by yourself, you're just kind of like frustrated, but like you're like, I'm gonna figure this out.
Yeah, you know.
But when it's with another person, you don't want to admit that you can't figure it out, and it just gets nasty.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we'll do your question to me after I ask you guys some more questions. Okay. So, Ruben, here's another question for you. Okay, so name any weapon that comes to mind first.
A sword.
A sword from what game? Just
Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur. Okay, so we'll use Soul. Is there a specific sword?
Soul
you
Edge?
Soul Edge.
Maybe?
What?
Or Ivy's whip sword.
Yeah, we'll go with Ivy's whip sword.
Okay, so
Sword whip.
Both.
I've heard a snake sword. I thought that was cool.
Oh,
Okay, so
that actually makes sense.
the real question is, if you gave that weepon to Link instead of the Master Sword, do you think he would do better or worse? And I think he would do better.
Sexier.
Sexier. Does he also get Ivy's outfit?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly, yes.
All the
yes,
leather.
Definitely, yeah.
No,
It was
not
like the
very
armor-
much leather.
The armor,
at
yeah,
all.
Yeah.
like the plate that's just like that.
Well,
yeah.
no, like the one strip that just covers
Yeah.
the
Oh
nipples.
yeah,
Comes
yeah,
down here
yeah.
and like right up the butt crack and over the
Yeah.
shoulders.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's just
yes.
one thing. Exactly.
But he
Like,
keeps
how
his
do you
hat.
even get into that? Like, you have to step into it
Yeah, right?
sideways.
I have no idea.
You have to line it up with your nipples perfectly and hope it doesn't move at all. Somehow it doesn't. I don't know. She must glue it down or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question to you.
Okay.
All right. Okay,
Oh, I don't
so
get the same one.
Oh,
Duh.
Did you? Okay,
well,
did you
oh,
want?
my answer.
Yeah,
well,
well,
the first thing I thought of was the gunblade from Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, the
So
gunblade.
I think he would do much
I think
better.
he would do fine with the gunblade.
You just
too.
shoot everyone.
Okay, so ready?
Yes.
Name any video game universe that comes to mind.
Bioshock, the underwater one.
Okay, so first one.
Yeah.
Okay. You have the portal gun. Would you be able to complete the campaign?
Well, I might open a portal and have all the seawater rush in. That would be very bad.
Yeah. I think
Complete it?
Yeah,
Well,
you think-
ultimately, you're just trying to leave.
Right. So yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
Really. You could probably skip all the drama.
Yeah.
You
probably.
could just kill everyone, unleash all the seawater, just flush it out, and then
Yeah.
leave. Done.
Yeah.
Well, how would you get a portal outside of the...
I feel like you could, because there's parts of it where you're trying to get into the bathyspheres, and they're, like, blocked off by stuff. You could just get around and go in. Because since you're, like, Andrew Ryan's son, you can just use them and leave. Just GTFO.
Okay.
I still haven't played them, so...
Oh,
So now, Emily,
I
what's
keep
your
spoiling it for you.
what's your
That's fine.
what's your question to me?
All right. If you had to name your next child after a video game character, regardless of gender, what would it be?
What would it be? Mm-hmm. Oh man, we talked so much about Sonic that I was just gonna name him Sonic. But
Oh, I thought you were gonna go with Knuckles,
But
That'd be a great
that'd
name
be
for a
terrible. Yeah,
especially a
Tails.
girl.
Tails.
Dr. Eggman.
Dr. Eggman.
Name
yeah.
him Eggman.
There you go.
That's the
I think
first thing that came to
Robotnik is
mind.
even
Shadow the Hedgehog.
But it's like all one word, no space.
I don't know if there's I can't think of a better one right now. But
That's the best.
yeah, the Sonic one is the best one, just because I can't think of anything else. So is there?
What about you, Ruben?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've always joked with Miranda that I wanted to have twins and name them Bidoof and Bidoof 2. Not TWO, TOO.
Also, so
Yeah.
like
So
Bidoof
Bidoof
too.
and Bidoof also. Bidoof.
That could be their middle names.
Yes.
It'd be genius. I was gonna go with Chell, even if it was a boy. I think it's cute because it sounds like Shell,
Yeah.
and you can say it like Shell.
And people definitely will.
Yes, they'll say it. I don't know, Sheel. I don't know what they'll
Shell.
say.
Shell.
Somehow people always figure out how to say names wrong.
Yeah.
All right. So on to that, we're gonna go ahead and do our video game Would You Rather. Here's the first question, for everyone to answer. Would you rather attend an esports event that you don't know anything about, or play in a high-level tournament with thousands watching in a game that you are good at?
Well, okay, can I answer first?
Yeah, go for it.
I would say definitely attend the esports event that I don't know the game about, because not only are just the event itself is hype, I'm pretty sure I could figure out what the game was like, what was going on, and then get just as hype as everyone else. But like, I feel like even if I was good, like I actually remember practicing certain songs on Guitar Hero just to show people them, like, look at this song, I'm also going to be playing along. And then I would like practice it, get 100% perfect, whatever. And then as soon as I would go to show someone, I would mess up. It would be terrible. I would be really embarrassed because I'd be like, this song is way longer than I remember. And I would just, it was terrible. So even if I felt like I was good at the game, if a lot of people were watching, I would mess up and embarrass myself.
What would you say?
I would rather play in a tournament than attend an esports event I don't know anything about. I don't particularly follow esports that much. Mm-hmm. I don't get too hyped for it, but I don't have stage fright as bad either. If I have like a task that I'm doing, I feel like doing bad in front of like one person makes me feel the exact same as I would doing bad in front of like 100 people.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so regardless of how well I do, like if I do bad, I'll just throw it off as a goof. If I do good, hey, check that out.
Look at me. Yeah.
That's actually something a lot of people wish they had, is that ability to not
just shrug it off.
Yeah. Feel that pressure.
Definitely.
When it comes to video games and stuff like that, I've had friends who wanted me to come up and do improv with them before.
What?
And I was like, I don't know if I'm about that.
Yeah.
Like, that's me having to like come up with something on the spot.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I could do that as easily.
Yeah, like trying to be funny in front of other people is really hard because you want to make them laugh, and then you're just like, if this doesn't work, I'm just going to be embarrassed and they're going to think I'm not funny.
Yeah, versus like if I have a video game in front of me, especially one that I know.
Oh yeah.
Like I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not doing it very well, like
Mm-hmm.
I could just focus on this instead of like, hey, look at me trying to figure this stuff out.
Uh-huh.
Whoops.
I think I would have to be really good at something before I do it, because I get really bad stage fright. So I would rather attend a esports event that I don't know anything about. Like I think I'd probably be able to pick it up, and then maybe it'll interest me in some way. But I feel like that's more relaxing than having to perform.
Also, there might be snacks at the esports event.
That's true.
Do you want one of our? Would you rather?
So you can go ahead.
Okay. Mine is: would you rather, in a video game, have a dog companion or a horse companion?
Why not both? Harvest Moon for the win.
That's true.
Exactly. The dog didn't do much though.
I'm gonna say a horse companion, just because I, for some reason, in every video game I hate companions. I mean, I guess like excluding like BioShock Infinite, because like she didn't actually like fight. Anyone where they have to fight with you, I just really hate it for some reason, because like I feel like they're adding to the problem rather than helping me, because I could probably do it without them. And I feel like it's almost a handicap. It's an insult to my skill.
Oh my goodness.
But no, well, especially in Fallout, I feel like the companions get really ridiculous when you're like, you're trying to sneak around, and then they just walk up, and then they attract everybody, and then I just facepalm, and I'm like, oh. But so, I mean, the dog in Fallout wasn't that bad, but I also have this thing where I start worrying if the dog's gonna die.
Yeah, that's true.
Which isn't so much true in Fallout 4 than in Fallout 3.
Your horse could die, and it doesn't have any way to defend itself.
That's true, but
Horses can defend themselves.
Not as much as a dog.
They got a mean kick.
With the horse,
Real life horse,
you get to ride it around everywhere, and if you see trouble, you just
park it.
You just park it,
you know,
and then you walk to the trouble, and then you come back to where you parked, and then you drive off.
Did you guys remember in I don't know if this just happened to me or if this was a bug in everybody's Oblivion game, but you would have the unicorn horse to ride around on Oblivion.
Yeah.
And you'd fast travel places, and suddenly you would fast travel somewhere, and the unicorn would be aggro to you?
Yeah, that's because you're not actually supposed to ride the unicorn.
Why? It was like an option.
Yeah. It's like
I remember finding where it was, and it was guarded by 2 minotaurs, and I was like, this is scary, I'm gonna run away.
I remember like trying to fight it, but it was also fighting the minotaurs.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm gonna hit this unicorn, it's gonna be mad at me.
Yeah.
But I managed to ride it and then fast travel with it, and like it went fine for a couple times, and then it just started killing me.
And then it was like, wait, I hate you.
If you guys have listened to our previous podcast, you know my Oblivion encounters didn't go very well.
All right, so Ruben, do you have a would you rather question for all of us?
Yeah. Would you rather only play mobile phone games or in-browser Flash games?
Oh. Wait, like I couldn't play anything else ever?
Nothing else.
I would say mobile games because then at least I could like take them around with me. Flash, and they have like, I feel like mobile games have been getting really good lately where they have like, they're kind of more expansive and everything. But Flash games can be so flat. They can also be good.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would rather be able to play like a game in my bed.
I'm gonna say Flash games. Actually, I feel like in Flash games, there's gonna be probably 80% less advertisements thrown at you. I mean, there's
and no pay to win.
Yeah, well, probably no pay to win. I think there's some MMO games that are also Flash games. I'm not exactly sure, but but I also feel like people keep making them. And that's kind of cool. So there's a crap ton of variety out there with Flash games. Same thing with like mobile games, but in mobile games you kind of get it gets kind of like thrown around because like I feel like the rating system for mobile games is so important. If you get a good rating, then like that's the one that people are going to download. And if you get a low rating, probably no one's going to pick you up. But in a Flash game setting, I feel like sites like Congregate and like Newgrounds, you're just kind of thrown out there. And then you kind of just check it out, you know? If you're on the site, you're like, all right, we'll try this out. Okay, this sucks. Let's go to the next one, you know? All right, and the last question, which is funny because it's kind of related to Emily's question, but it's, would you rather ride a horse in an open world game
or
a motorcycle?
Oh.
Or a dog, yeah. But either a horse or a motorcycle, which one?
It definitely depends on the setting. If I was in a medieval setting, I would have to say motorcycle.
Yeah.
Because how badass would that be?
Right.
Or like if I was in a street racing game, horse every time.
Yeah. All right, let's say you're in the Fallout universe.
Fallout universe.
Would you rather have a horse or would you have a motorcycle?
Well, if the horse dies, you can eat it. So that's kind of nice.
True.
Would the motorcycle
But if
need
the
gas?
motorcycle breaks down, you can scrap it.
That's true.
Fallout 4.
Or you could repair it.
Or repair it, yeah. But I feel like the problem is Fallout 4 or any of the Fallouts are really like craggy and hilly and broken up that like a motorcycle would have like a really hard time getting through any of that stuff. You could maybe stick to like the old broken down roads, but there's always like lamp posts sitting across from like broken down cars.
Unless it was like a 4x4 like all terrain kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So is the horse winning here?
In Fallout, I'd say horse probably.
In Fallout, I would say motorcycle just because there's like parts for it and stuff. And then I wouldn't have to worry about it dying. I think that's my biggest thing is I'm just worried that it's going to die and people are going to eat it before I can.
Before you can.
All right. Well, and with that, we're going to go ahead and transition to our news. I'm going to go ahead and start. So the gaming news that caught my attention, big surprise, it's about Overwatch. But, you know, it kind of has an overarching theme to some other games as well. But if you didn't hear about it, there is a character in Overwatch. Her name is Tracer. And each person has a victory pose for when you win the game. And this one, the story is that some parent out there complained about that this victory pose was too sexy for their child who was playing the game. And
so this is a game. Obviously, Tracer isn't the only female character, and this particular pose is not the only sexy pose. But for some reason, this one particular pose triggered this person, and it became a really big thing for no reason, I feel like.
You can probably see what it looks like. It's probably better if you just Google it rather than me explain it. It's safe for work. It's so don't worry.
Obviously.
Just look up Tracer pose. You'll probably get it. It's just a over the shoulder, standing up straight, looking back. That's
leaning
about it.
her weight on one leg.
Yeah.
She's not bending over. She's not pulling her butt out of her jumpsuit. She's completely covered. There's nothing overtly sexy about it.
The only thing that people complain about was that she has really tight pants on and she has a big butt. So that's the problem.
She doesn't even have a big butt.
No.
She has a butt.
She has a
A
And
human
because
butt.
she's wearing tight
tights,
pants,
it's accentuated.
Yeah.
you can see it more.
You can tell how we feel about this. This is ridiculous.
But so that was the problem. The whole community was in an uproar. They thought it was ridiculous that someone could complain about something, and Blizzard would be okay with changing it just because one person complained about it.
That was the thing, is like, this person complained and Blizzard changed it. I don't think we said that, but they did end up taking the pose out because this one person complained. And I don't know, did anybody else get behind this butt, like behind their?
No pun intended.
Okay, so the story, I kind of like follow this a bit, so the reason that Blizzard said that they wanted to change this pose was because it lacked the personality that they wanted Tracer to have, and a lot of people they kind of agreed to that. They're like, all right, this pose is kind of boring, but we feel like you're just giving us this reason just because, we feel like you're making this up. And it took them some time, and there were so many
Everyone was wondering what they're gonna do.
Yeah, so many parodies of this pose. Everyone's making fun of it. Cosplayers are doing the pose, and then finally they come out with a pose, the new one that they're gonna replace. And to everyone's surprise, it's actually more sexy than the one they put out before. And it actually has more personality. It's a pose that it copies a pinup girl pose, and it's a standing pose. It shows less butt, but has more like character personality. Like it's very spunky. It's a very active pose.
And it's funny because her expression in it is kind of trolly. Yeah, which I think is perfect.
Yeah, she is one of the most trolly people, and so everyone thought this was great. This was a good move by Blizzard. That they're showing that they'll change something and actually make it for the better. And someone just thought, the controversy here is did they just make up the story just to get media attention? Either way, it worked. Everyone kind of knows the Tracer pose if you know a little bit about Overwatch.
That's true. It's probably going to be a very highly sought after pose now.
Yeah, it's gone now. But
the new one?
The new one. The new one is in now.
Everyone's going to want the new one.
Yeah. So so that's just something that's happened in the Overwatch world.
It's funny. There's been some really weird Overwatch things too, with like the voice acting.
Oh yeah.
How they scrapped a whole person's voice acting.
Yeah, a couple people's voice acting has been cut out and be replaced with new voice actors. I know Mercy, Lucio, and I don't know, I can't think of anybody else right now, but they cut out their voice actors and they decided to replace it with people who could better, for the reason they said Mercy, they cut out her voice actor is so that the new person that can voice Mercy can speak German. The problem with that is that Mercy is from Switzerland, and Swiss German is completely different from actual German, and so a lot of German people complain like she's just speaking straight German. She's not speaking Swiss German. That's completely different. So I don't know anything about that.
No.
What a crazy German! Like only Germans would know that. Like
Germans and and
Swiss
European
Germans.
people. Yeah.
They'd be like
I would never know something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was making a game and I needed a German person, I would just assume everybody speaks German.
Right.
Not
and then
Swiss German.
Then people were talking about, because there's a Swedish character, Torbjorn.
Oh yeah.
And people were saying that he doesn't speak Swedish either.
Right? I think he might say a couple lines in Swedish, but they also say he just doesn't sound Swedish in general.
Sound Swedish.
For Lucio, he is Brazilian, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's his origins, but he doesn't speak any Portuguese, which is really weird. So they're just making up reasons.
He doesn't sound like
he doesn't. Yeah,
like these are people who are supposed to be from another
Yeah, exactly.
country. Well, I don't know where Overwatch takes place, so maybe they're in their own countries and we're the foreigners. But they're supposed to be like, I would assume that native language to their country would be their first language, and English would be their second, so they would have some kind of accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like half of them don't,
Yeah, I know. I definitely agree with
which
you.
is strange.
Right.
It's I feel like it's kind of a case of they didn't really like the voice actor, and so they just brought in a new voice actor to redo the lines, or they couldn't pay them, or something that has to do with outside the game. Rather than the inside the game,
Well, I would assume the voice actors all got paid. If they didn't get paid, that would be a huge.
Oh
would be an
yeah.
issue.
I'm going to assume that too.
like-
Let's not say that Blizzard's evil or anything.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
which is actually going to go on to
yeah.
Ruben's one. So yeah, why don't we just transition to you?
I was gonna say we can't say Blizzard's not entirely evil just yet, as I have some more Blizzard news. So, Blizzard shut down a private server that hosted vanilla World of Warcraft, the original released World of Warcraft.
No DLC.
No DLC, no expansions, none of that stuff. It was the original game. Like, they had coded it and everything and went through and made it back up. And Blizzard had shut it down, and it had, I want to say, how
20,000?
20,000, like,
It had a good following.
A good following.
Yeah.
This is one of the bigger private servers that people were on. And a lot of people are really mad right now because a lot of people just really wanted to play vanilla WoW.
Yeah.
But I don't know if WoW thought that, like...
Actually, wait, can I say something? I don't know if you've heard it yet, but when they asked Blizzard about if they're going to do official vanilla servers, their official response from a person is, "You think you want it, but you don't."
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
It's so
Yeah.
scummy.
Okay, so go ahead. I think that's just hilarious.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Like, you think you want it, but you don't, except for these 20,000
Except for all
people
these
people.
who actually did want it.
Yeah, and I've heard from streamers who've played WoW, and then they looked at the videos of how many people were on that, and they were like, "Have you ever seen a server of WoW that was this lively? Why doesn't Blizzard want this? These people are actually coming on this game and having fun again." And WoW has just been kind of dying out because people can't keep up with all the expansions.
Not only can they not afford or anything like that, they just don't want to.
Yeah,
Like,
because some of them are just bad.
Their subscription numbers are hitting record lows right now.
Yeah.
And there was just a new expansion, not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they think people don't want vanilla WoW.
Yeah, you think you want it, but you don't.
Something someone tried to point out is that something right now RuneScape is doing is bringing back old school RuneScape, and that's actually a really popular server. And that's actually one of the more popular servers in comparison to the Newscape Rune server, and I know that's actually doing pretty well. And I mean, so a lot of people are saying, look, Jagex is actually supporting this. Why can't you, Blizzard?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure they have some reasons, and
I personally think what it was is they were worried that if they took out this vanilla server, those 20,000 people would subscribe back to real WoW.
yeah, exactly.
What I think they really should have done, instead of shutting down the server, was bought it.
Mm-hmm.
If they bought it, it had mods, it had people who were running it, keeping it alive.
Invested in it.
They could have just hired them on as employees,
Yeah.
paid them probably next to nothing. These people were doing it for
free anyway.
For free anyways. And so if you just offer them some money to just keep doing it, then you start making money off of this server.
Yeah, then good guy
I agree.
Blizzard.
This is the smarter move here. I mean, I'm sure there's some complications with that too, but I feel like the smarter move here is that if you bought it, you look like the guy who's supporting it. You're positive light, and then you're totally cool with it. But then instead of causing all this drama that they have.
I mean, maybe they might have lost a few because I think people were playing on it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when they probably would have switched it back to a subscription, they probably would have lost some, but they still would have gained
they might have actually gained more
few
people.
thousand
Yeah.
subscribers.
And had a really lively server. And then I feel like that would be easier too for people who are trying to get into WoW. Because if you just started out like, oh, you can just start out with vanilla WoW, that would be a really easy thing to get into. Instead of like, oh, you have to get all these expansions.
Or people who don't know like much about getting into like some kind of private server. Like I have no idea how I would get into a private server like that.
Yeah.
But like if Blizzard was like, well, you can just pay and play on this server that we have available for you. Like, they would probably get a bunch of people from back in the day who were like, oh, yeah, cool, I'll go check that out again.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Also, the way they're going about shutting down the server is that they're going to sue the people hosting
Are they
the
suing
server.
them?
The threat was that they're going to sue them unless they shut it down.
Okay.
So that's what happened. That's how they got it to shut down.
That's pretty
effectively.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah. It also, I guess we have to remember that Blizzard is Blizzard Activision, so it could be in a weird way. It could be Activision also saying to Blizzard to make this choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, like, you know, I guess I'm not saying like Blizzard shouldn't be blamed for this because it's their name, it's their game.
Yeah,
but you know, like, we don't really know what causes this decision. You know,
Yeah.
so and I feel like there hasn't been much from their side defending it. So. There could be something, but at this point, they just seem like the evil guys, really.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I feel like they rushed into this decision, too, because it was almost immediate that they wanted to shut it down.
yeah,
Yeah, it definitely sounds like something that came from corporate. Like, it didn't come from somebody who knows anything about video games or what people actually want. It came from some CEO who's like,
they're stealing our money.
Yeah, they're stealing our subscriptions.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And that means less money for me, so shut it down.
Shut it down, yeah, exactly.
When really it does them no good. I guarantee you none of the people who played on that server will be subscribed.
Exactly. They're probably actually actively trying to, you know, ruin WoW in some way.
Yeah,
and
Right.
even, you know.
Yeah,
This hurts their PR, which is going to cost them more money.
exactly, yeah. It's pretty messed up.
Like, it would have been a smarter idea for them to just leave it alone entirely.
Yeah, actually, yeah, if they could have left it alone.
Yeah.
Maybe they were seeing some numbers where they're seeing, like, wow, people are leaving our game to
Paying
go
WoW.
to you know, from paying WoW to playing this free vanilla WoW server. And that might have made them mad. But
And it was
also, you know,
almost like
get the idea that people want that.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a knee-jerk reaction to be like, shut it down, you know?
Yeah.
I do know that the people who who were running the server, they released all the code and everything.
Oh, really?
Really? To do it?
They shut down their server and then they released all the code so that
nice.
anybody else who
So
knows how
it might
to
be
do
cropping
it.
up
Yeah.
different places.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's not entirely gone. If somebody ever feels like risking a lawsuit with
Right.
WoW or
Yeah.
with Blizzard, they can probably throw it up. And I'm sure somebody out there is going to, and it might not get the same number of
Following, yeah.
followers, but like I'm sure somebody will set it up and then play with like their friends or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really
If
low-key.
they know how.
Yeah. All right, so my news is a little less scummy. I have a little bit of news from Gears of War 4, which I'm excited for. But so recently, two things happened. Recently, there was a closed early access beta for the Versus online multiplayer for Gears 4, which I kind of saw coming, but it was actually just for people. It was a closed beta only available for people who played the remastered Gears of War Ultimate Edition that came out for Xbox One. So if you bought that and played it, then you could access the beta, which was kind of cool. I like that it's rewarding people for, you know, their like diehard fan-iness. But then they're also having an open beta for anyone on Xbox One who has gold membership on April 24th, which is next Sunday, which is my birthday. So that's kind of cool. I kind of wish I had an Xbox One. So that's kind of upsetting. I might get one. I don't know. If I know someone that has one, I will definitely be like, hey, how's it going?
Do we know anybody who has an Xbox One?
I think
don't.
my brother is thinking about getting one.
Yeah.
And he's gonna not be able to play it for a while because I'm gonna be on it. That's for sure. But also, very exciting. I wasn't too excited for Gears 4 until the teaser trailer came out because it's being made not by Epic. It's being made by Coalition, which is like a little branchy thing that Microsoft has just to make more Gears games. So I was like, it's not going to have the soul of the old ones. But then I saw the teaser trailer, which is revealing the main character for Gears 4 as, I'm guessing, they didn't say his full name, but his initials, they're calling him JD. I'm almost certain it's going to be Jonathan Dominic Phoenix. So, JD Phoenix is the new main character of the fourth one. He looks just like Baird, which really confused me in the trailer, because they showed him running, and I was like, they already made a game where Baird is the main character. What's this? And then they show him as a kid, and then it shows Anya as his mother, and Marcus as his father. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then it shows, like, the new Locust, which I tried looking into it, because the third one was supposed to destroy all Locust and Emulsion. I don't know what is going to be attacking them this time, but they didn't say, and I'm really curious. So yeah, blonde, Baird lookalike, JD, because Jonathan was the middle name of of Marcus's father, and then Dom, of course, he's gonna name his kid. I thought he was gonna name his kid Dom, but that would be weird to play as Dom Phoenix. But yeah, JD Phoenix, he's my new guy.
Yeah,
and I'm excited.
All right, yeah. Now we're going to go ahead and do our bold predictions where we watch game trailers and tell you if we think they're good, they're going to be good or terrible. So
good or garbage.
Yeah, good or garbage. Okay, so we watched some gameplay trailers and we'll tell you what we watched as we go on. But the first one that we watched was Sonic Boom Fire and Ice. And what we know about it is that it's only for the 3DS, and it releases for North America on September 27th, 2016, which is this year. And, well, we watched the trailer. What do you guys think about it?
So, I guess we were talking over, like, after the trailer ended, and they were asking me what I thought, since I'm the one who apparently plays Sonic the most.
Definitely.
And I have some doubts, only because Sega and the Sonic team have proven over and over that when they try and put too many characters into a game, it ends up being slow-paced and not very good. The thing Sonic fans want the most is a game where you can play a character who goes fast and blow through levels, like avoiding obstacles and things like that with your speed. Never has anybody been like, oh, I loved that level with Tails where I had to slowly float over a thing, or with Amy where I got to hit something with her hammer.
I think the only other time I liked another character was Knuckles, because he could fly at some points.
Yeah, he could fly and glide,
which is kind of cool. But yeah, Sonic is with the real.
Yeah, Sonic is the name of the game. He's what everyone wants.
Yeah, especially, like, you're right, Knuckles has probably been, like, everybody's, I would say, at least mine, number 2.
Yeah.
After him. But in the Sonic Boom universe, I don't know if you've seen anything of it or heard anything.
No.
But not only did they change his design, so he looks stupid.
No.
I hate his new design.
Oh, wait, was he the one that was, like, really buff for no reason?
He's really buff, but he still has little stick legs.
Okay.
He's got, like, super broad shoulders and huge arms.
Weird.
And I hate it.
He hit the gym a little too hard.
Skip leg day.
Skip leg day.
But not only did they screw with his design, but they made him dumb.
Oh.
Really?
And Knuckles has never been dumb.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
He
used to be really cool.
He used to be, like, brooding and dark and kind of, like, a little tricky and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, he was the guardian of the Master Emerald.
Yeah.
And he was always having to, like, go around and collect things. He was even, like, an enemy for Sonic at one point. But they made him dumb. He says dumb jokes. He doesn't understand.
That is sad.
Like, when Tails says sciencey things, he's like, what? What are you talking about?
That's the worst.
So, I hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it. But, as far as the gameplay goes, it looks like they're sticking to their roots with the 2D gameplay, especially with the Sonic levels. They added in a few things with this fire and ice ability, where, like, he lights on fire and melts through ice blocks, or gets all icy and freezes water blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume it'll make for at least somewhat interesting gameplay.
But like you said, like, it seems like it would definitely slow down the game if you would have to switch.
It just seems gimmicky to me.
I mean, Sonic games have kind of become a little bit gimmicky as time has gone on. But, like, sometimes they can do it really well, and other times it can go really poorly. But the thing is, it looks like with his fire and ice abilities, aside from the freezing and melting of things, it's giving him abilities that he's had, like, in previous games already to begin with. Like, there was one where he he jumped and then he could dash again in a different direction.
Yeah.
Which has been a thing before. Or I don't know what else he could do with his ice powers. I didn't see.
No, the ice was kind of weird.
But it showed him doing his thing. He was going fast, which I could appreciate. And they fought some pretty big bosses, which were interesting. I don't know as much about the Sonic Boom universe, so I don't know what the setting is. It looks like they're in some kind of jungle.
Yeah.
Fighting, like, it seems almost like Aztec or Mayan themed.
Oh, yeah, because there's one that looked like a totem pole, kind of, which is not right. But then there's, like, a skeleton guy who's, like, a shaman kind of looking guy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're in any place specific. So
No,
they were just kind of going for, like, a voodoo feel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But, so there were some bigger bosses who looked kind of interesting, but they showed a lot of, like, oh, you'll be able to play as Styx, who uses a boomerang.
I think it said 5 unlockable characters.
Yeah, 5 characters,
I don't know if they're unlockable. You probably get them right from the beginning.
Yeah.
If knowing
they
the way,
said
like,
unleash 5 characters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
knowing the way Sonic team works. But I don't think all the games in the previous Sonic games that have done the best after, I want to say the Sonic Adventure games, have always been the ones where you just play as Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic the Lost World, I'm almost 90% certain you only play as Sonic through most of it. Or Sonic Generations, probably the best, most recent Sonic game.
Mm-hmm.
You only played as Sonic. You played as 2 different Sonics.
Yeah.
But it was still Sonic. And so the focus was always going fast and getting from point A to point B. And so that's what all the good Sonic games have in common. All the bad ones have in common are you play as everybody else.
Yeah.
And those are the worst parts.
You think because it's specifically Sonic Boom that's why they want to include all these people? Is that?
I feel like they've just established all these characters and they want to use them all.
I see, yeah.
In different various roles.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to do that is to make you play as them and use them to solve different puzzles. But they've just shown time and time again that they're not very good at doing that.
Oh.
Okay, so prediction time. What are you gonna say about this game?
Sonic levels looked fun. Everything else, probably less fun.
So 2 rings out of 5.
Yeah.
I from watching the trailer, as a person who hasn't played Sonic, I don't think it's gonna attract me.
No,
and I think that's really what they want to try to do is hopefully get more people into it. But I feel like this game is for people who are kind of already following the Sonic Boom universe.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
The thing about the Sonic Boom universe is that it has a cartoon, which apparently has a pretty big following.
Oh.
So I'm sure they're hoping to ride the coattails of that a little bit.
Yeah. So it's not grabbing my attention. I don't think it's gonna be like something that I'm thinking it's gonna be a meh.
Solid meh.
Solid meh. All right. Now on to our next one. It's going to be Star Fox Zero. It's going to be for the Wii U, and it releases worldwide on April 22nd, coming right up. And it also comes with a standalone tower defense game called Star Fox Guard. We didn't watch the trailer for that, but I just wanted to throw that out there that it does come with that.
Yeah,
April 22nd is also Earth Day, so hopefully people won't buy it and then throw it away right away. And litter.
All right, so we watched the trailer for Star Fox Zero. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
For me, my biggest issue with it was that it really looked like it had the graphics of a PlayStation 1 game. The environments were very polygon-y, but, like, not in a good way. Like, it looked very slapped together. So I feel like it's not counting on you looking too closely at anything. It wants the fast-paced Star Fox feeling. It looked just like the other ones, but what really got exciting was when it showed the large bosses and 3D sort of things fighting those. And you said it had, like, co-op, didn't it?
Yeah, they in the trailer they showcased some elements of cooperative gameplay.
That would be fun. I feel like playing it by yourself, it might be it's like more noticeable how ugly it is. But playing with someone else, you're playing it for the fun, multiplayer, just, the fun of it. And that seems very exciting.
All right, so you know a little bit more about it. Ruben.
Yeah, I cheated a little bit. I do know a little bit more about this game from things I've seen beforehand. First, I do want to address the graphical style. And I definitely think what they were going for is keeping it in theme with the original Star Foxes.
Yeah.
Because in the original ones, everything was very polygonal because that's like all they could render.
Yeah.
But they decided to, instead of just saying like, well, it just doesn't look good, like it use your imagination. Like they said, that's the architecture of this planet you're flying over.
Oh,
is these people, they make very polygonal
structures.
Low res
Wow. Yeah.
structures.
Well, I mean, I don't think they said, like, came out and said it. But that's obviously what they're going for. When they have such, like, obviously similar landscapes, is that these first ones were not just low-res buildings. They were actually polygonal buildings.
But then,
And so that's why that's what these are, polygonal buildings.
And even when they were in space, it still looked kind of...
Yeah, well, that's because the spaceships were also polygonal buildings, so... They were definitely trying to keep the theme of it of being like Star Fox is very square. All the characters are very square. The landscapes are very square. There aren't very many round edges.
No.
In Star Fox, and that's what they were going for. It still does not look great, except for the bosses. The bosses did look...
Yes, they looked exciting.
They looked big and amazing.
Yeah.
But the rest of it didn't look great. I think they made the wrong choice of leaving everything kind of in the same style. If they were going to do it with this one planet, they should have at least showcased, like, other landscapes you fly over that showcase, like, see, this is what else we can have you
Something
flying
different.
through.
Exactly.
Like that.
Actually, I was talking to Emily about this, but a couple games that have stood the test of time is, at least graphically wise, is games that have been stylized pretty well. Like Wind Waker is one that can, like, if you look at it, it's like, man, it looks pretty good actually, you know.
Yeah.
But
no matter when. Yeah.
the more polygonal games, you know, if you look at Mario, like Mario 64, you're like, it's a little ugly, you know, it's a little polygony.
It's like every year that goes by, it just gets a little uglier. I feel like, but at one point it'll be like, oh, this is so cool looking,
And
like
so
in
cool
the,
and retro,
in the future,
Just like
the
8-bit
pixel.
stuff is
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
because 8-bit is super in, and people like come up with games that are even 8-bit now. Like, I'm wondering, maybe Star Fox is trying to do that with like polygons.
Trying to be the first one to do it.
Yeah,
I think really the Nintendo 64 era was not the best era to try and copy the art of, because I can't think of a single 64 era game that
really
held up.
Yeah, besides Paper Mario, but they were going for a very specific art style.
Yeah. A very flat look.
Yeah,
or,
like everything was paper. It was adorable.
The
I think
Yoshi
that holds
Story
up.
game.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, but those are stylized, you know,
Exactly.
and not like in the 3D like way.
Yeah, they're not trying to look new. They're
Yeah.
trying to look a very specific way.
So, down to prediction time. You know, you watch the Star Fox Zero. What's your guys' opinions?
I think it'll be really fun with a friend.
Knowing some of the gameplay aspects, I'm not super looking forward to this Star Fox game. I wasn't crazy about the original Star Fox games either,
Yeah.
so I'm not too hyped for this one as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if you liked the original Star Fox games, I'm
Yeah.
sure you'll love this one as well,
yeah.
because it looks very much the same.
It's pretty much like just like a reboot, really,
Yeah.
but
Which I
without
think-
looking better.
Oh, we
Yeah.
forgot to talk about the fact that the ships change in this one.
That's true, yeah.
you
I don't
can,
know.
The
I
trailer.
don't remember if they did that in the old ones. I think you did get like a tank,
Mhm.
but this one had like you were flying in your ship. There was the tank. There was a walking one.
Yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
looked
Kinda
like a chicken.
bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Maybe they'll do something really cool with
Mm-hmm.
it.
I saw in the trailer it was like alternate routes, so you could do a completely flying route, or you could choose a route where you were walking in the ship. But
I
it
know-
seemed like twice as slow walking.
I know that's a thing you could do in the original ones as well. There were paths
really?
you could take,
Uh-huh.
or if you like shot through this wall and flew through this hoop, like there was a portal or something there that took you to a different level.
Yeah.
And you could take alternate routes, and some were considered like the right way to go, and some were like this was the wrong way to go.
Oh no. Yeah.
I think like this genre of gaming, it has been kind of downgraded to something that feels like an arcade-esque type game. So,
Which some
like,
people really enjoy.
some people really enjoy. So I feel like having it be full price rather than maybe like then a little more discounted and just be like a smaller like
not its
smaller
own
game.
like not
yeah.
like a downloadable thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
not
like-
like its own disc.
Well,
Yeah,
I think the
I
thing
think-
is that this is a full game. This is
Yeah.
not like I don't believe it's going to be a short game.
Okay.
It's going to be a longer one. I also
So-
know that, like you said, it's got more of an arcade feel.
Yeah.
And they definitely played into that, because the last time I heard about it, I'm showing it at like E3 or something like that. The way it was is you flew your ship on the TV, and you controlled it with a controller, but when you were shooting, you shot by looking at the...
Oh, like it would have the crosshairs on there?
Yeah, on the gamepad.
On the gamepad, okay.
That
So,
sounds cool.
like, you were sitting in the cockpit looking through the gamepad to aim.
Oh.
That's a pretty cool element, actually.
I don't know if they left that in,
Mm-hmm.
or
I hope
if
they
that's
did.
going to make it to the final game, but
Yeah, that sounds fun, though.
that's something I heard.
Yeah, I mean, with the co-op, you know, with in the trailer how they showed co-op, I feel like this could be definitely a fun game to play with somebody. I do have doubts on it, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be. I'm gonna say okay,
Okay, yeah.
not like meh, but like I'm like it's gonna be okay, you know,
Three-
from watching the
Three
trailer.
barrel rolls out of 5.
Yeah. Okay, so on to our last one, and we watched the trailer for Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and that comes out May 24th, so pretty soon, next month. For PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the PC. And it's also the sequel to the previous game, Mirror's Edge, which came out quite some time ago. So
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
I remember playing it as a demo when I first got my Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
never got
Was
the
it a
full
launch
game, though.
title?
I'm not sure.
I didn't play it.
It's probably pretty close to it, you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely previous generation, start of previous generation. So it's been some time. So
Yeah.
we watched the trailer for that. What do you guys think about it?
Just as beautiful, almost more beautiful, obviously. The Mirror's Edge is famous for the visuals being very striking, very clean, geometric, which is definitely my aesthetic. I really like the way the game looked. It made me really wish that I played the first one, and I actually might get the first one because it's probably really cheap now, just to watch or play Mirror's Edge Catalyst and experience it. The characters are updated, and it just looks beautiful.
It definitely looks beautiful. They went for the striking visuals, made sure everything comes back from the original. I didn't play the original,
Yeah.
and so I didn't get sucked into the story as much, but I liked what I saw, but I don't know if I would play it as a video game. It seemed like
yes.
something I would watch as more of a TV drama, like Daredevil or something like that on TV, because I imagine all the story they showed, because we watched the cinematic trailer, we didn't see very much gameplay.
Yeah.
So I imagine there's a lot of gameplay in between each scene, and from what I've seen of the original Mirror's Edge, I don't know if it's exactly my type of game.
It might
Right.
be. It might be a better game to watch than play.
Yeah. So we watched the cinematic trailer, so that heavily influences our opinion here. But it was a very good cinematic. So I mean
Yeah.
that has that going for it.
It did
you
show
know.
some gameplay in it too.
Yeah,
like,
it showed some gameplay.
and it looks the same as the old one.
But yeah, I think it will try to follow the similar style of the free running, but at the same time not like full out combat. Very subtle takedowns more than
yeah,
anything.
because you don't use guns, and you use guns
I think
like a little bit.
you use
Used
guns, but
They
like
were
not
allowed-
to the
You didn't keep them, though.
not to the crazy extent that like first person shooters.
You don't
do.
like put them on your back
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, she
keep them.
mostly like kicks people and keeps running,
Disarms
right?
them,
Yeah,
yeah.
disarms. Yeah, I didn't really play it either, but looking at this game, it makes me excited. The cinematic trailer, I'm definitely interested, and it's doing what the other trailers didn't, and it's I feel like it can get like people interested into the story rather than only trying to capture the old Mirror's Edge fans. So I think that does a good job of that.
yeah, like really, it made me wish that I played the first one. So that's a good thing.
So come down to the predictions. What do you guys think? Is this going to be a good game?
I think it'll be pretty good. I probably won't play it.
Yeah,
to
I
be
probably
honest.
wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure it's a great game. The first one got great reviews. I think it's made by the same developer,
yeah. It's
It
so
looks like it.
I'm sure it'll follow the same path and everything like that. So I'm sure if you love the first one, this
Get
one
it.
will be great too.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested, you'll probably enjoy it. It just doesn't seem like my bag.
Right. It's all the style is really what like sets the part of gameplay. I mean, so like it's a very non-confrontational style. So
Yeah.
if you're into that, if you're into like a Dishonored type feel, like if you're
The stealthy
and
part.
climbing, if you're really into climbing, this is the game for you. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a good game when it comes out, but it's definitely a game that caters to a specific audience rather than a wide audience.
I give it 4 broken windows out of 5.
All right, yeah.
I don't believe in numbers, so...
They elude me.
Yes.
I don't believe in
They
them.
confuse me, so I prefer not to think about them.
They haunt me.
They haunt my dreams, my nightmares.
And with that, we're going to transition to our big old ramble.
Our big old ramble.
And this time, it's going to be the question of, should developers get money from Let's Plays or streaming of their game? So, Emily, do you want to go ahead and set up some opinions?
So this is pretty interesting to me because I am a huge fan of Let's Plays and streaming. Ever since I discovered, like, watching Let's Plays instead of buying the game a while ago, like, when I was in, like, middle school or something, and I was just like, this is so nice because I don't have to buy the game and I don't have to, like, buy a whole, like, console just to play this game that people are talking about. I can watch it and then, know what they're saying and relate. And so Let's Plays and streaming has always been something near and dear to my heart. But I remember there was some controversy where Nintendo was taking people's Let's Plays of their games down because they said it was stealing. People were watching it for free, they weren't buying the games, and it was a big deal. And also, when new games were coming out, Let's Players weren't playing it all the way to the end because people were just watching it to the end and then not buying the game. So the developers would tell them, like, you can play this, but you can't beat it. You can't beat it on camera. You have to stop at a certain point and make people buy to find out what happens. And there's 2 ways to look at this. So, either you can look at Let's Plays and streaming as, like, stealing, like it has been in the past, where people are just going to watch it, like me. Basically, it's for me, because I watch the game so I don't have to buy it. And, like, the other way to think about it is advertising. So, I know, Ruben, you're a big fan of, when you watch a Let's Play, if the first episode, or even, like, the first few minutes of the game really grab you, then you stop, and you are like, I want this game. I have to go out and buy it just to play it for myself. Mm-hmm. And in that way, you can almost look at Let's Players and streamers as advertisers for these developers, and they should be paying them to play their game. So it's kind of a 2-way street where it's like, is it stealing or is it advertising? And that's really interesting.
I definitely think it's, in my opinion, it's definitely advertising. And I don't think there needs to be an exchange of money between the two, because both the developers and the Let's Players are making money off of this, if they're doing it right. I know some indie developers will pay Let's Players to play their game on stream.
Oh, yeah.
And it's usually like, if their game is something that's small and was going to go under the radar, or something like the Let's Player wouldn't usually play on their own without a little bit of a incentive.
A little.
Yeah, just a little. I don't know how much goes into that stuff. We're a very small channel here. We don't have anything like that.
Data.
Yeah.
Info.
But yeah, like you said, I will watch a Let's Play, and if in the first few minutes of it, I'm like, I'm gonna play this game at some point, and I don't want it to be spoiled for me. So what I'll usually do is, if it's a Steam game, put it on my wish list and wait for it to go on sale, and just not watch
any content
from anybody. And if I do end up playing it, I might actually go back and watch the series just to see, like, the people I like play through it and see their experiences. I know Nintendo, especially Nintendo of Japan, is really strict on not letting people play it unless they sign up for their sign a contract with them.
Yeah, they have to, like, buy the license for it just to play it.
Which I think is really dumb. I know Nintendo of America has a very different opinion on this. It's funny that we're talking about this. I was just listening to the Co-optional podcast with Total Biscuit, and he was telling a story about how he played the first Dark Souls game at a con, and the developers wanted him to record him playing the demo so he could put it on his channel, but the PR guys did not want that to happen. They said he couldn't do it. So the developer actually went and distracted the PR guy while he recorded it
Yeah.
and then put it up on his channel later.
I feel like it shouldn't be up to the PR guys
Yeah.
anyway.
No, because public relations just deals with the people. They don't deal with like the money coming in.
Yeah.
They don't know what it's like for like advertising and stuff with that.
That's what it is the PR guys are supposed to be the voice of like the corporate guys, the guys who are actually putting money into the game.
Yeah.
Who make the decisions on like when the embargoes happen and when you can release any footage of any games or whatever like that.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
But really, the developers should have the final say.
Yeah. I think a good example of these games becoming or Let's Players being good for advertising is, I know last podcast, I almost said last week for some reason. We record these monthly. The last podcast we were talking about PewDiePie.
Oh yes.
And how he
anti-advertisement.
Yeah.
Revitalized Skate 3.
Oh yeah.
Just by playing it on his channel.
Yes.
That's true.
The company who makes it reprinted it and sold it back in stores, and kids were buying it because they saw PewDiePie play it and have fun with all the glitches and stuff. Because that game was broke.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And kids bought it to play it, and so I'm sure the company made money just because PewDiePie decided to make a quick 10-minute video of him falling on his ass.
What I wanted to throw in was there's a couple different factors here, but I think when it comes to free-to-play games, if you look on Twitch, it's either the top games are either going to be League of Legends or like Dota 2, I believe, in certain times.
Or Hearthstone.
Or Hearthstone even, yeah. Though those are like really popular free-to-play games. And when it's free-to-play, I feel like the streaming and Let's Play are total advertisement, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely advertisement. But it gets into more of a problem, I feel like, if it's a story-driven game. For example, for me personally, I watched Until Dawn. Like, I didn't play it. I watched it from start to finish. And when I went to the video games rental store yesterday, I saw Until Dawn down on the bottom. And then I was like, man, Until Dawn was a great game. I'm totally not going to rent that, though, because I know everything about it.
Exactly.
And I just rented Wolfenstein. And so there comes the problem, too. It's, you watched all of this story-driven game. Is there really any reason to pick it up?
I think the big thing about Until Dawn was that when it released, I don't think very many people even knew about it.
Yeah.
It definitely picked up its steam when people started streaming it or putting up their Let's Plays of it.
Yeah.
And that's how we know about it now. And I think if they didn't, like, even if they hadn't done that, you still wouldn't have rented Until Dawn.
Yeah,
Right,
because you'd just be like, what is that?
Yeah, Until Dawn, I don't know. It looks like a game about Wendigos. I'm not going to play it.
Honestly, the name
Spoiler
and the
alert.
box art, the name and the box art are very generic. It does not look interesting whatsoever. And the game, it was okay, but it didn't get interesting until like the middle towards the end. And then it's just like, I really enjoyed watching that game. Like, I wish I could watch it again and not remember what happened just to enjoy it again, you know?
Yeah. See, it would be something fun if we had, like, if you got a bunch of people around who didn't know anything about it and had somebody else play it, but because we know all the stuff about it, we weren't going to pick it up. But we still probably wouldn't have anyways.
That is something that happens, though, is that people do purchase games for other people once they've seen the game. For example, I watched a streamer play Stardew Valley. I thought it was really adorable, and I knew one of my friends would probably really like it, so I went ahead and bought it for him. And so that works in advertisement in its own way, too.
Because you see a Let's Play and you really enjoy the game, and then you tell your friend, like, you should either watch or play this game. And it's like word of mouth advertisement, which is honestly one of the best forms of advertisement. It's really hard to get to, like, market things that way because it's really up to the people to market it that way.
Yeah, especially with video games. I know a lot of, like, kids' video games get marketed on, say, like, Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. But, like, for these adult, like, M-rated video games, it's really word of mouth that gets these around. You don't see, commercials for Dark Souls 3 on TV very often. Or
you have to be watching very specific networks at very specific times. Yeah,
it's definitely Let's Plays and streaming definitely control the topic of interest of the video game world for a good bit of while when the game comes out, and I think that's a pretty valuable way to connect to the general public if you're a developer. But yeah, is there anything else, like if we look at it from the developer side, is there anything like that they could be upset about just from this? Or
I mean, I guess I could kind of see why they're upset, just in the fact that, like, I'm sure there's somebody out there who, like, was thinking about buying a game, and they're like, oh, I'll watch a Let's Play of it, and then just watch the whole thing, and we're like, oh, well, that was fun. I'm not going to buy it anymore because I saw it.
That's me.
Yeah.
But,
I definitely think those people, like, the
I think the minority. Definitely.
That's the word I was looking for, is
because
minority.
a lot of the times, it's funny, a lot of the times when I tell people, like, oh, I didn't play that, I just watched it, they're like, what? You only watched it? You didn't actually play it? And I'm just like, yeah. Because, like, that's the way I did it with Ocarina of Time.
Whoa!
There's an evil bug in here. Oh, all right, and we're back. There just happened to be a huge, like, beetle-like bug that came in.
Loud,
it just came in and wanted to mess around with us. It landed on Ruben's large clock. We didn't know what to do, so it's sitting outside.
The whole clock. We put the whole clock outside.
Yes, the clock and the bug are outside. The
My
bug apparently
$25 clock.
It did not. The bug did not like our opinion on the streams and Let's Plays. Apparently.
But we're going back to the ramble. Our general consensus is that we believe that Let's Play and streaming is advertising for the developers, and it's overall a positive effect more than a negative.
Because I think people like me who just watch them to not have to spend money is a very small portion of, like, gamers. Because I mean, obviously I buy and play games too, but sometimes there's games that I just don't want to buy, and those ones I go to Let's Plays for, but it's not every game.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely a matter of, like, was this person ever going to buy this game in the first place?
Yeah, because, like, sometimes you don't even have the console, you know, you want to check it out.
Yeah.
So.
Or it could be a very old game
That is true.
that you can't find anymore. Like, if I wanted to play Ocarina of Time right now, even old Pokemon games are so expensive.
You'd have to do the emulator for it. Yeah.
And then stealing.
Which is also not
That's more
legal.
stealing than Let's Plays.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think the only developers who are really against this stuff at this point are some of the older ones who haven't like been exposed to the community of, like, streaming and Let's Players and, like, don't understand the appeal of watching somebody else play a game versus playing it yourself.
I know a lot of Let's Players who really enjoy the game. They actually actively say, like, man, you guys should check this game out. It's really cool.
Definitely. They'll say, like, you need to play this and get it yourself and play this. So I think it's more advertising than stealing.
All right, so so our general consensus is that it helps. And thank you for listening to our podcast. It's been an interesting one. You know, we've had a lot of fun, and the bug wanted to have some fun too.
Spring is springing here, and the bugs are coming out. So
that's unfortunate.
Yes.
Yeah, it sucks. But we're glad you.
I wonder if you can hear that cat on the recording.
We'll see. I guess.
Yeah.
But we're glad that you joined us with us, and hope you have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'm gonna go get my clock.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.